Now let us know quickly the failure of Solomon. Nobody's perfect. Solomon wasn't either. And it started really in 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 1. Somebody read 1 Kings 3 and verse 1.
Solomon made a marriage alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. He took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had finished building his own house and the house of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem.
Okay, so we kind of get a little indication that it started a lot earlier. But as he went on through his life, as we see in chapter 11, in verse 1 it says, "But King Solomon loved many foreign women as well as the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Amorites, Edomites, Sidonites, and Hittites." And they had been told, don't intermarry with these people. They will turn you away from God. Verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. That's what happened to him. Verse 13, however, I will not tear away the whole kingdom. God says, I will give one tribe to your son for the sake of my servant David and for the sake of Jerusalem, which I have chosen. And now the Lord raised up an adversary against Solomon. So we see, because of his association with all of his wives, they turned his heart away from God. And Phil talked about it a little bit this morning in his sermon about the influence of people. People influence you whether you want to admit it or not. We're all influenced by people. It can be the wrong people. It should be the right people. If we associate with the wrong people, bad things can happen, right? When I was in high school, between my 11th and 12th year in high school, it was the summer. And one of our guys that was in school with us was riding with some more guys, and they were drinking, and I don't know where he was or he wasn't. They wrecked, and all of them were killed in a hog pen. I thought that was always strange. They had a wreck, and they were killed. He may not have been drinking. I don't know that he was. They had a wreck. Some of them were drinking. They had a wreck. You see the results of who he was associating with. What happened? Here it talks about wives, and you probably know of people that were faithful Christians, but they married somebody and they were led away from God. And then the problem started, as I just read a moment ago, from within. The battle started within Israel, and the kingdom was going to be divided. Chaos was there. Everything was going good as long as they were following the Word of God. But when they were following the Word of God, things turned bad. And Solomon is known for a failure in that particular area. You know, I don't know in the latter years of Solomon's life, the Bible doesn't tell us whether he straightened up or whether he didn't. Okay? It doesn't tell us. You can come to that conclusion on your own. Now listen, what are some lessons we can learn? What are some lessons that I can learn from Solomon? Lesson number 1. Ask for wisdom. Let's turn to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 16. Somebody turn to Matthew 7 verse 7. And somebody turn to James chapter 1 and verse 5. I want us to look at 3 verses here that we today, what do we ask God for? Do you ever ask God for anything? People ask God for things, right? We ask God for things. But sometimes we ask Him for the wrong thing. But we need to ask Him for wisdom. What does Proverbs 16:16 say?
How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather than be chosen in silver?
Get wisdom. Get wisdom. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 7 says,
Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you.
ask, seek, and find. Sometimes we don't get what we need. We don't get wisdom because we don't ask for it. James 1 and verse 5 says,
If any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and